welcome and thank you for joining us for this week's Weekly Mini. I am your host, Carolyn, and this is your bite-sized workshop on the hottest acro topics. You can reference all of our previous Weekly Minis and more amazing content in the Acro Dance Resource Center. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer those for you at the end. If you know a certified teacher who should hear about today's topic, be a friend and tag them in the comments right now and let them know we're here. Today, we're thrilled to bring you an exclusive Certified Teachers Only Weekly Mini with Master Teacher Jemma Harris to give us a Weekly Mini tutorial on the teddy bear stand. Jemma began dancing at the tender age of 3, and her passion for dance led her to complete her training in all genres with recognition and awards. Just 2 weeks after turning 18, she was offered her first contract, which took her on a journey around the world working for Royal Caribbean. However, Jemma's love for dance did not stop there. She delved further into teaching and choreography, gaining diplomas in comm dance, theatrical, tap, and new modern jazz, as well as acrobatic arts, M1 and M2, aerial arts, hoop, Alexa, M1 and M2, and PBT. She is now an integral part of the acrobatic arts team as a course conductor and examiner. Jemma's inspiring Jemma's inspiring journey showcases her dedication and passion for dance and her willingness to share her expertise with others. And lucky for us, because today we will join her now in her home studio, Beats Per Minute Performing Arts on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. Let's cue her up.
For having me. I am so excited to be presenting this topic today. Teddy bear stands are one of our fundamental balance skills and are a great way to teach strength, stability, stacking, and alignment for balance skills. Teddy bear stands allow the student to learn these skills.
We need her to
For having me. I am so excited to be presenting this topic today. Teddy bear stands are one of our fundamental balance skills and are a great way to teach strength, stability, stacking, and alignment for balance skills. Teddy bear stands allow the student to learn these skills whilst in a 3-point balance before progressing to a 2-point balance. Similar to any acro skill, the teddy bear stand involves strength, alignment, stability, and postural control, all working cohesively to achieve the skill. Now, there are so many ways to develop these things, and I'm sure you already do so many of them in your classes, but it's really important to work them in skill-specific drills. When your students know exactly what you want them to achieve, they are much more likely to achieve it. Beginning with the strength component, handstands rely on strength coming from the shoulders, back, and core. In your junior classes, you're going to really focus on the fundamentals. These are your tried and tested strength postures that are relevant to all of your acro, including your plank, tabletop, hollow, and V-sit. But remember, we are training them today with a focus on headstands. So I would love to welcome Kiana. Kiana is my beautiful demonstrator today, and she is currently one of the aerial arts finalists for the ambassador. So welcome, Kiana. Thank you so much for being here with us today. So some adaptions to our base skills we can include for headstands are an adapted tricep push-up. So what we are looking for here is line through the body and stacking of the shoulders over the wrists when setting up. So as you can see, she's set up with the shoulders stacked over the knuckles, her elbows are looking at each other, and she's using her spider fingers. She's also got a really strong engagement of the core with the ribs laced. From here, what she's going to do is she's going to go into a tricep push-up. Here we are really developing the tricep strength and encouraging that 90-degree angle of the wrists and elbows. The next adaptation of one of your regular skills is our V-sit upright teddy bear. So in our V-sit position, students can practice creating the shape of the headstand upright. They are going to take the legs just hip-width apart and then place the elbows just above the knees. They're going to work to lengthen through the spine and press the shoulders away from the ears. Here we are working alignment as well as simultaneously developing the core strength. Thank you, Kiana. Another key component of the teddy bear stand that differs to other balance skills like handstands is the alignment of the shoulders. The shoulders are pressed away from the ears. This engages the sternocleidomastoid, the rhomboids, trapezius, and lats to create stability through the neck, as well as the shoulders and back to secure the balance. It's really essential that the shoulders are pressed away from the ears in a teddy bear stand, as we are going to share the weight between the hands and the head, and the neck needs to remain supported. We're looking for 50% or more of the weight in the hands and about 50% of weight in the head. This allows the skill to be transitioned to the floor, where we would look for even more weight to be placed into the hands. Shoulder shrugs are a great drill to assist with this. These can be done simply without weight bearing. So Kiana's going to start these on her knees. She's going to take her arms above her head and find her strength supported position with her shoulders up. And she's going to press the shoulders down and up. We're looking to maintain the alignment of the shoulder here. Again, you can see that her core is engaged and her ribs are laced. From here, what we can do is we can transition these vertical shoulder shrugs into a pike handstand. So Kiana's going to come over to the mirror. And we're looking for good technique in her handstand. So she's setting up again with the shoulders stacked over the top of the knuckles. We've got the elbows facing in and she's using her spider fingers. She's going to lift her legs into her pike handstand. And we're really looking for the stacking here of the hips, shoulders, and knuckles. And she's going to slowly shrug down and press up. So really looking for the greatest range of motion possible for that dancer. The core is working tightly with the ribs engaged and laced. Depending on the level of the dancer, you can also work this up into a straight handstand. So if they have the ability to go there, they can work their shoulder shrugs in their straight handstand. So a really good one for developing the strength around the shoulders. Thank you, Kiana. Adding to your skill-specific strength drills, we want to ensure that the previous balance skills, including right and left foot retire and balance on demi-point, are trained with proper postural control, technique, and core strength standing before flipping it upside down. So certified teachers, I'm sure you already know these skills and you love them from your primary and level 1. Kiana's just going to do a very quick demonstration of these skills. And these skills are training the dancer to find that balance point while standing. So she's going to go into her right foot retire position. We're looking for that nice use of the core. You can see she's got that nice postural control and alignment. The shoulders are pressed away from the ears and she's really found that balance point. From here, you can progress to your rise on demi point. So rising up, again, looking to find that strong and stable balance point, really developing strength through the whole body. Thank you, Kiana. So these skills will complement the progression. All there is to add now is the technique and placement of the teddy bear stand. I like to describe the placement of this 3-point or tripod balance to my students with a piece of paper. So if you have a piece of paper and you try to stand it up, it falls. If you have a piece of paper and you fold it to make something similar to a card, you then have a wider surface area for it to balance, and it can stand up and it easily balances there. You can also use markers on the floor to space out the triangle or trace it on the floor. So Kiana's using some of our Acro preschool markers, and these come in your Acro preschool toolkit, and these are a really great tool. I use them in a lot of my classes, and it's a great way to aid the students by using visual imagery. A lot of students learn in this way, and it helps them to really see where they need to go and understand the alignment and placement of the headstand. So you can see that she's placed the 2 hands by her knees, and the next dot where her head is going to go at the top of the triangle. Kiana, can you just trace that triangle for me on the floor? And then you can go into your placement without weight bearing. So as you can see, it's really given her guidance to where she needs to be, and she can see that easily on the floor without wondering if she's quite in the right position. Thank you, Kiana. So this placement needs to be drilled in terms of both the placement of the hands and the placement of the head. It is important to encourage students to balance on the top of their head. I like my students to place their hand on the forehead to check if it's flat, and they will say no. And I say, what might happen if we try to balance on the forehead? You can see that when we apply pressure to the forehead, the neck can bend easily. Then place the hand on the top of the head where it is flatter. When you apply pressure here, the body can remain stacked. Remember, any misalignment through the body affects stacking. The bones of the body are just like dinner plates. If they are stacked one on top of the other, they are stable. If even one is off, the whole stack becomes wobbly. And this is exactly the same as the bones through the body. So for our teddy bear stand position, I like to start the dancers on their knees and place their thumbs as a frame for their knees. I then like them to practice squeezing the arms to the legs. This creates the correct placement of the elbows, and it allows them to engage the triceps. It stops the arms from flaring out to the side and will create that really stable base to balance on. They then want to place the head to form the top of the triangle. In this position, we can practice pressing into an A-frame, being mindful to stack the hips completely over the shoulders. Some students may need to walk their feet all the way in to completely stack the hips. You can drill this multiple times, working up and down through your A-frame and back to kneeling. If you find a student that is struggling with this step, we can place blocks underneath the shoulders. Now, this drill allows the students to distribute the weight over a 5-point balance and allows them to really focus on correct stacking and alignment without having to hold the balance. So Kiana's placing 3 blocks under her shoulders, as that's what works for her. She's now resting her shoulders onto the block, and she can find that nice straight and stacked alignment without completely weight bearing. Sorry. Thank you, Kiana. Remember that all common errors will stem from incorrect placement of the triangle. So you really want to develop this before weight bearing. When working towards this weight bearing, it's really important to tell students how they are going to come out of their balance. We want the students to either come back out the way they went up or tuck the chin to the chest and roll. So Kiana's just going to demonstrate tucking the chin to the chest and roll if she's overshot and taken the hips too far. She's going to tuck the chin to the chest and roll. So remember to always come out safely. We don't want the students coming out in a bridge, as this will place pressure on the back of the neck. Once the students have a solid position, they can start taking one leg off and placing it to the elbow. So Kiana's going into her nice position with her strong base. She's going to lift the hips high, and then she's slowly going to take one knee to one elbow and put that one down, and then trying the other leg as well. From here, you will start to see when they've developed that stacking and strength to be able to seamlessly take 2 feet off the floor. And there you have your teddy bear stand position. Sometimes, even after training all of these elements, we can still see some common errors. These include arching in the lumbar. So this one typically stems from misalignment of the head. If the center of the head isn't placed on the floor, it creates misalignment through the body. Sometimes another reason for this is you just have those younger dancers that are like wet noodles. In this instance, you would take it back to your core strength. So this is an example of the hips not quite being stacked and the core not engaged with the ribs laced. You can see that she's overbalanced and is now arching in the lumbar. We really want to support this with core strength and tightening of the ribs to pull that back into alignment. Another common error that you might see is a rounded spine. This again can either be caused by a lack of core strength, or sometimes the student's body is just too long to be able to comfortably place the knees on the elbows. In this instance, we would ask the student to elevate the legs slightly from their knees by using the core. So now you can see she's gone from her rounded spine to her nice straight spine. So just a slight adaptation there if they're struggling with the knees on the elbows. Remember again, for your teddy bear stand, the most important part is that we're looking for the student to be comfortable in the balance. So if they're not quite able to achieve the knees off, that is totally fine, but still work up that core strength so they can achieve that straight alignment to progress through their headstands. If a student is really struggling with stacking, you can take the balance over to the wall where they can really feel the spine pressing into the wall. So setting up as she would on the floor, and she's going to go walk her feet in and slowly up into her headstand. And now you can see that she's able to find that lovely straight spine position. She's supported against the wall, and you know that she's not going to roll out unsafely. One more common error that is seen in students is just rolling out of the balance by placing too much weight over the head. Sometimes this can be caused by a lack of wrist flexibility. The students need to have a great amount of flexibility through the wrist to achieve the 90-degree angle of the wrist and elbows. Take this back to your simple wrist flexibility and work on spider fingers. So here you can see she's doing her spider finger placement, and she's going to transfer the weight over the knuckles, really working through that wrist flexibility. Remember, teachers, to always come back to your triangle placement, core strength, and alignment. These will ensure a secure balance. I hope I have provided some new inspiration for your teddy bear stand today. Thank you so much for having me.
Jemma, thank you so much, Kiana. Thank you as well. We'll let you take a bow in a few seconds here. I love that. Thank you so much. I mean, I think what I really appreciate about it, Jemma, is just the articulated presentation that you took us through such a fundamental skill. And typically, if this is level 2, they're fairly young when they're starting a skill like this. So the lead in with the drills and the progressions and that articulated look, also talking about where the anatomy comes into play, is so important. I think you've given teachers a lot to consider well, it's like we say, and I don't mean to do all the talking here, but I'm giving you a break, is that, when they get to these skills, if you've done, I guess your job, so to speak, in preparing them with all those steps you took, that by the time they get to the skill, they should be able to get it, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And you really want to build on those fundamentals, work those fundamentals, make sure they have that understanding of the balance point, the strength, the stacking, and the stability. But even then, sometimes you will find dancers struggle with this one. So that's why if you throw in those couple of drills, and a lot of those drills, they're safe to do from the time you get those younger dancers. So even if you're not working for that teddy bear stand yet, you can pop those drills in your classes and you'll see that by the time you get to that level two, they'll have that understanding to be able to go ahead and nail that skill.
Right. And just like all of the skills throughout the syllabus, this is the best way to start as we go down the road when it comes to spotting, etc. If you've built up those fundamentals, sure, not everything is going to be there right away, but it will be a lot closer, less strain on teachers having to spot because the kids are already strong enough, flexible enough, and ready to go. Which I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here to our certified teachers because they know that. But it's a good reminder for those in the future who may see this presentation that it is fundamental to our syllabus that everything comes with a progression for safety and so also for the teacher safety as well. So I don't know, Gemma, that was a mic drop. That was pretty amazing. Teachers, I hope you feel the same way. There's a lot here, but if you have questions, you can feel free to drop those in the comments. You can come back and visit this presentation often. There's a lot here to take away and put into practice at your studios. Thank you so much, Gemma.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to reintroduce your demonstrator so she can take a bow?
Yes, this is Kiana. She's one of my lovely demonstrators, and she's currently in the running for the Aerial Arts Ambassador. So, very exciting. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Kiana.
Thank you so much, Kiana. It's nice to see you in person. Thank you for being an amazing demonstrator. I'm sure, and I won't put you on the spot, but I'm sure sometimes when you have to go back to those skills that you probably haven't done for a while, it's a good reminder of the basics that lead to all those fabulous things that you can do. Do you want, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you want to do a demo skill for us? Are you warmed up enough? Your
Any
favorite?
skill, a bonus skill. She would love to. Anything.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yay, good job. Thank you so much, Kiana. I hate to put you on the spot, but I know that you can do more than a teddy bear stand. But because you could do a teddy bear stand so well, that's got you where you are today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you so, like I said, so much, Gemma. That was an amazing presentation. Teachers, if you've got questions, post those in the comments and we will get Gemma to answer those in good time. Thank you again, teachers, for being here. Thank you, Gemma, Kiana. Join us again next time. Bye.
Thank you.